easier pick that we're not as used to fighting. We're gonna take Lee Sin. We have the strongest jungler basically in the game right now, and they're gonna round it off with more utility, more supportive casts. I think that this is gonna go over to Coyote and Tarnex just based on what they've been showing. They're letting Len really shine here in the group stages.
So
I think it's interesting also that they banned out the Senna, because I remember that was a power pick of SBTC during their matchup in the grand final as well.
Well, with the Vi lock-in from SBTC, do you just not lock in? Okay, I thought that Xayah would be kind of a decent counter pick into Vi, because you can always just cancel out with the Featherstorm. But Divine Esports, they're all inning on this dive composition, and now being able to role swap Galio potentially to the support role does open up Akali as the counter pick option here.
Yeah, completely agree with you. I think the Vi is definitely a very viable. Xayah was definitely a very viable option here, but Varus is just too much of a power pick, and Xayah would struggle a bit playing against these zone control from Ziggs, from Gragas. I really like the Ziggs Gragas bottom lane that we're seeing. It's gonna really enable this Yasuo, which Julie loves to play, and I think that we're gonna be seeing the Akali top matchup into Darius. I believe that's gonna be the one, because we've seen Coyote play so much of this mid Jarvan. He really loves it. He gets so much lane control, and that allows him to play to enable Len even more. So we're looking at a story of jungle domination. I think that Divine Esports have drafted exactly for that.
Yeah. Rafa, any final thoughts on the draft before we head into the game?
You know, I talked about the creativity and some of the things, the innovation that comes out from C Championships. Jarvan mid is one of the things that I was just like fanboying over. I'm like, what?
It's so broken.
It's so good, man. And then the summon Airy Keystone gives you lane dominance because you can just poke them out with swag flag. That's so sick. I love that. And you have such a strong initiation because you take away and deny from the Ziggs so that you can't do the hellhole or the burning fire pit, whatever you want to call it, the Ziggs into Jarvan combo. But now you have strong initiation with Jarvan and Galio, and it's all going to help in assisting the primary kind of threats in Lee Sin, Akali, and this Varus here.
Yeah, we're gonna see indeed how this Icon Series Vietnam Fall Season Part 2 kicks off with Divine Esports and SBTC Esports. Casters, take us into the rift.
The regional rivalry, and I couldn't be happier to be casting it alongside Riku. My name is TJ. And Riku, this entire draft, you're getting more and more excited. The only time I've seen you more excited is watching the trailer for the new Cowboy Bebop series. You were losing your mind as every single pick got locked in here.
I know. I mean, it was pretty scary looking at the draft from Divine Esports. They're going all in, especially when they saw that the Ziggs was getting locked in on the side of SBTC. So they needed an answer. They needed something that can deliver this Galio into the backline. And Coyote is here over again versus this Yasuo matchup. And Rafa pretty much summed it up. Summon Airy Keystone is just so important against the Yasuo. He's basically winning already in that the poke and the harass from this mid lane matchup.
Oh my lord. Julie gets a little big for his boots even. Thinks he can fight Coyote early. Gets hit by the swag flag, which is a new language I'm using. Thank you very much, Rafa. And Coyote comes out on top.
I love it. It's barrier now gone, so the defense of Julie is basically mitigated.
Wow.
And therefore he has to be careful. And the fact that, again, Len is on the Lee Sin. Len on Lee Sin is usually equals to victory, early game aggression, gonna be constantly invading your jungle, gonna be... It's like Len doesn't need anybody. He can create proactive moves around the map without the assistance of Coyote.
There we go, both junglers, both all-star junglers in the bottom lane. Big taunt comes out from Quay. He is already dead. There is nothing Len can do except run for his life because Akano is hot on his heels.
That is tough because Len was hoping to get first blood possibly at bottom side, except that he was a little bit too late to the party. Quay can only tank for so much, especially up against the Ziggs, especially up against Akino, who has been harassing constantly in that 2v2 lane.
Top side, we just had a whole collapse around this Rift Scuttler. It did go over to Len. But there are 4 members actually from SBTC as Minas roams down, just hovering here. Len over the wall, onto Minas. Minas very low, pops the barrier, will survive
Quay
with a heal as well. Quay is back, off of the respawn with a taunt, and he will keep everyone up.
This is just so close, and I mean, so far, we are going to see active movements from the supports just because it's just a little easy to leave the supports into their, rather, the AD carries into their own devices just because of a ton of pokes, a ton of range, a ton of escape, especially on Kiral's side with a satchel, I suppose.
Yeah, what an uninteractive lane. This is just like 2 people playing different video games next to each other. It's just like date night, Riku. It's just when you go home and you're with your significant other and you're just like playing games next to each other and you're not actually like talking to each other, but you're enjoying the experience. That's what's going on at the bottom line.
Yeah, it's like being together and yet, yeah, not actually doing anything together. You're just there.
But you're just, you know, you're enjoying the silence. You're enjoying hanging out with someone. That's what's going on at the bottom line. Kiral and Hope won. I'm writing the fanfic.
Oh, mid lane.
Julie in trouble here. Here is TF. Julie with a massive last whisper, but he can't find the kill. He's shut down. Len out in trade to TF.
Tarnex.
Here comes Tarnex. 1 for 1 so far, and Tarnex can't change it.
This is just so difficult. Both of these junglers are hoping to initiate in the mid lane just because, again, this Vi pickup just synergizes so well to set up for Julie here on that Yasuo. So they're aiming for these big single target pickoffs.
Huge cast.
What a cast.
That's massive from Akino. Quay stalls it up though. Mega Inferno Bomb will find the kill. A 3-point shot from Kiral.
And that is quite unfortunate. You're a Varus and you have no way to escape the fight and have that bonus mobility unless you have Flash. So, Hope One had to accept his death.
Beautiful stuff. And here's the follow-up. Julie, now under real threat. Coyote will dive this turret. Him and Len have the damage, but they're wary of the potential presence of Akino and TF. And they're right to be so, not over-engaging.
Ults are available. Oh.
Quay, forward. I think we're fine, Riku.
They're fine. Akino doesn't have cask though, so Divine Esports can rest a little easy without any of the scary Akino cast that we've seen earlier against Hope One and Quay. And for sure, Mega Inferno Bomb will play a huge part later on just to finish off targets. And of course, Minas as well. We talked about this before. Whenever there's a big poke champion on the board, usually you find yourself lacking the damage to finish off the kill. And that's why Minas is there as a Darius, to get that ult down and get the resets available for him.
And this is just some peak Vietnamese Wild Rift. This is exactly what these two teams do to each other every time they meet regionally. And we're getting to see it here on the international stage. Here's Len, Coyote round the side as this Drake is warmed up again.
Now this is them getting zoned out. They don't have much vision.
Coyote into the middle, backed up by the heroic entrance. Over the top comes Quay. It's massive. The taunt. It captures everybody inside on this Drake. It's going to be taken away by Divine. Len picks it up in the middle of the mess, but SBTC win the fight, killing Quay and Coyote in the midst of all of that.
I think that's pretty worth. Divine, Len most especially, is able to steal out that Infernal Drake out of SBTC in exchange for 2 kills to support in the mid lane, which again, that is exactly their job. You know, Coyote is already basically accepting his fate to constantly die because he's going to be the first one to enter the fight just to deliver the hero's entrance on this Galio, and that's just a beautiful taunt into the Cataclysm, just basically big AoEs. And it zoned out SBTC, gave space for Len to steal the dragon.
Len managing to kick backwards through that entire fight and just disengage from the action, focusing on taking that Drake. And that'll be first objective of the game over to Divine. And we still have a Rift Herald up for grabs.
And that's the thing, Divine can still get 2 out of 2 for early game objectives. And it all will depend on the ult economy once more, as we see them already almost back up. SBTC, of course, their setup is to immediately get the last breath on board with Akino, possibly a big a 2-man, 3-man knockup perhaps would be ideal before Divine is able to dive into the fight. Now Tanex and Julie's just gonna poke it out over here. The wind wall, just there for safety.
Here come SBTC. They're going to zone off around this Rift Herald and just try and get it before Divine can really get in here. Divine may or may not be interested in contesting. You can see Len just hovering.
Now Len's pretty scary here. Trying to find that kick again. Still very difficult though because you have to face, what, 3 beefy frontliners?
Oh. Enos doesn't get who he was aiming for with the pole. Here's the heroic entrance. That's massive. Todd X dancing through the fight. They're all low. Todd, perfect execution. It's times 4. And Todd X is into stasis with everybody low HP. Flash to chase. He's on Darkano. Todd gets 2 kills in the middle of another chaotic team fight.
That is a crazy fight coming from Tanex. He's able to penetrate that backline, and as well as, again, Coyote is able to fall first, but it's, again, pretty worth. And Akino, unfortunately, has been aiming to use the cask to catch people to set up for Julie. But if you don't have the cask for disengage available, Tanex is just, you know, free reigning at the backline. The fact that Tanex also is able to get an early hourglass, and I think that prioritization over that item means something that he's ready to go in constantly.
Yeah, Tanex, one of the best performers this tournament, Riku. So I am delighted that we're getting to see his Akali after an entire tournament where he's been dominating lane on less mobile, less lane dominant characters. To see him pull out just the ultimate in I'm gonna fight and there's nothing you can do about it is really exciting.
Yeah, always Darius, possibly maybe even relegated to Renekton, but at the same time, you know, Tanex is there to be able to just penetrate the backline and possibly just create chaos as well towards SBTC.
Here's my worry though. Yes, Divine are having a pretty good start to the game, but they haven't earned themselves a meaningful lead. And SBTC have a really deadly late game.
Yeah, I have to agree with you there. Julie is just going to hurt massively, going to instantly eliminate someone right off the bat after TF is able to engage, or perhaps Akino, Kiral as well. You know, it's still Roa coming from Kiral for first item, so it's there definitely for more of the sustain, especially because there's still a lot of respect towards Hope 1. That early poke coming in might prove to be dangerous. If everybody's pretty much low on SBTC side, it is Tanex there to be that, again, executioner to finish off the kill.
Akino in trouble now, top of this fight. Zoning down Divine. The Rift Herald was summoned in the mid lane to try and distract SBTC, but Divine do not get their money's worth. It'll charge. I don't even think it collapsed against the turret. The turret's still very healthy. SBTC can now scrap for this dragon.
Oh, Len? Oh dear!
He's caught! He's called out. Heroic entrance over the top from Quay to try and turn this. Todd has damage. TF's very low. TF's gone. 1 for 1. Both junglers down. No smites available. As Julie in the middle of all this is trapped inside the Cataclysm, and Tanex shuts him down. Still going forward. A triple kill. It's looking like he can't close it. He'll have to settle for 2, but the rest of the fight is cleaned up by Hope 1 as Divine beat SBTC yet again in the team fight.
Yes, exactly, TJ. The team fighting of Divine Esports is just so flawless. The fact that, again, only Len was basically the sacrificial lamb just because he safeguarded into danger and TF basically pulled the trigger. Okay, jungler isolated, we'll see, because Quay is just right there for the grand entrance, ready to set up all of these taunts. Again, take note, this is a quadruple melee composition, by the way, from SBTC. Therefore, taunts are going to be very easy to land, and unfortunately, you know, the cast coming from Akeno is not enough. He has been aiming to use the cast to basically ruin the positioning of Divine Esports. But let's take a look at this again. Dragon.
Time for round 2. Len in the pit. Len on the Drake. Len has stolen away the dragon. Here's the play immediately afterwards as Len dives into the middle of the fight of the massive Cataclysm, splitting things up. But SBTC holds strong. Len and Tanex both focused down. TF to the front line. Interrupts Quay. He's gone as well. Minas slaughtering them. Julie already on 2 kills. And that is a big turn for SBTC as Minas chases down Quay. He won't find the pickup.
Yeah, exactly. This is a big turnaround because of the Baron now being available. Everybody's pretty much low. Divine Esports, they still have Coyote and Quay. Yeah, his ult is so close to coming online, so they can basically stop this as, again, SBTC already stopped.
But Coyote is called out. Good cask. He's gone to the Astro ult. It does mean that SBTC can't take the Baron, though.
Yeah, I think it's pretty worse. It was SBTC were pretty low. TF, Akino, Julie, and pretty much everybody else were in danger of a sudden hero's entrance into the Baron pit and basically would die from all the taunts in the world. So this is a good call. The death timers at this moment, 12 minutes into the game, still not as punishing as SBTC would love it though. So Divine Esports still has that big win condition of the Elder Drake later on.
Glenn on to Julie in the top lane. Quay coming in here as well, but Julie turns. He dies. He's got Glenn. 1 for 1 at least. And here comes Midas. Oh, he survives. Julie able to get away. And Quay's executed by the guillotine. SBTC have a firm gold lead. For the first time this game, it's 1,000 in the bank.
And the fact that Julie is 5-2-6 on this Yasuo already has an infinity edge. Therefore, every single time he's going to last breath, he's just going to basically eliminate you right off the bat. And that is a very worrying trend, especially if ever Julie gets a little bit more bigger. Look at this, though. Baron now initiated. Len, teleport, buying the boots.
Kiro onto this. Baron is just burning away at it. This Baron's going to get taken very easily by SBTC, but how many can he get out of the pit? Megan Furthermomb is stasis. Tarnex will die immediately afterwards. On the other side, 1 for 1 in the trading. Both top laners gone. TF, oh, what a massive ult there. Absolutely explodes the front line. Hope 1 into stasis, but Julie on the dive. He's got them all low. They're all cleared up. It's just Len still alive for Divine as the late game has arrived for SBTC.
It has been incredibly painful every single time Divine would meet SBTC in a team fight, and clearly there is only one instance where Divine has reigned supreme. Let's take a look at that replay again. It seemed perfect to try and steal the Baron, but you know, Julie, or rather everybody else coming from SBTC was just right there, and again, just so difficult because Julie is just massive already in this game.
And that might be the most damage I've ever seen a Vi do in this team fight. Look at TF.
Yeah, it's pretty painful, which is understandable because the composition of Divine is pretty squishy. I mean, they do have Quay, they do have Coyote, but again, Coyote is going to be understandably the first one to die because he's going to be the first one to come in.
TF looking around the sides here. Does have Len to grab. Down bottom, it's Coyote running away from the action. Quay, Hope 1, Len all kiting back. Very good dodge by Quay. He iframes the explosive cask with the Justice Punch.
Yeah, nicely done. Is able to survive another day. And this time around, though, going to be a little bit scary. Just because of that Baron buff. Wave clear wise, Hope 1, Quay can definitely help. Winds of War, Piercing Arrow as well. But the rest will have to sit back in the back line and be careful of the apprehends and the cast that Akeno's going to do.
Akeno into the front lines. Last breath doesn't find the damage. Good Cataclysm. But in the middle of all that, Midas knocks the guillotine drop. He doesn't find the kill. Quay gets 1. Coyote traded out for both Julie and Akeno. Down bottom, Tarnex looking for more. TF and Midas scared away. No damage onto Kirill, so they can't chase. But Divine win a fight.
Yeah, there's no ults anymore for Divine to initiate and see if they can punish out Kirill. And yeah, this is the late game we were talking about. 7k gold lead. Julie...
Do they get Dragon?
They get Dragon as well, yes.
What?
And this is...
Surely not. Riku? They're all so low.
SBTC! They're... No, yeah, no.
That's incredible. Just the call from SBTC to go, yeah, we only have 3 players up. Yeah, they're low HP, but we've counted the cooldowns. We know Divine can't chase. We're going to take the Dragon.
Yeah, there's no vision whatsoever coming from Divine as well, so it is a pretty tall order to try and deny the Ocean Drake. I mean, I feel like Divine, their last stand is going to be surely this Baron, this upcoming Baron. And now we get to see Tarnex picking up this Rabadon's Death Cap,
We'll see if he's
Wow.
able to eliminate Kirol right away. Look at the Zonia's hourglasses and chance. There's 3 of them just to deny whenever Julie comes in with the last breath. So we'll see if that's going to help immensely, because right now, Julie is the biggest problem Divine has to clearly eliminate first.
And that's a worrying sign for me, because Kirill's doing damage as well, but Divine just can't worry about him because of what Julie's doing.
That's why Tanex has a lot of pressure on him. He is going to be the primary back line, well, accessor, if that's actually a word.
Sure.
See now.
He's got the key pass. He's got the lanyard at the convention that lets you get into the back line.
Yeah, right. He has access. He's got that big VIP with a fancy lanyard. Exactly.
And I don't know if he's going to be able to get through. I don't know if security got the memo. And when you're like, I've got the lanyard, but the guy at the door doesn't know what the lanyards are. I feel like that might be what's going on here, because there's been such a good job done by Akino and Minas of just protecting that back line. Coyote now in trouble, caught out by Akino. And this might be it. Desperate heroic entrance. Coyote, already half HP, lands the cataclysm, jumps away. He survives. Kiro picked up. Tardex in the backline, gets the kill. That's a massive pickup. Hope One lives through the engage from Julie, but the turnaround is there as Minas pops off in the front line, shutting down Tardex. A deep dive from Led goes into GA behind the turret. Quay, Hope One both get shut down, and Minas has done it. SBTC have done it. Divine Esports are clean wiped in game number 1, and the regional rivalry will bear the same result as usual. SBTC 1, Divine 0.
Exactly. SBTC has never lost a game against Divine Esports during their group stage and the playoffs run in the Vietnamese region.